Hi everyone, and welcome to Solita and this crash course in modern data management. This is a hybrid event, so good to see all of you here today in our office in Stockholm. And we also have many people joining us online. We have 320 people signed up today, so a very big interest in this theme. So good to see you here today. This event will be recorded as well. We will have a Q&A by the end of the session. So if you're joining online, post your questions in the chat. And for those of you who are here in the office today, we will pass around a microphone so you can ask your question. My name is Linda Borelius, and I'm heading up the responsibility for our business unit called Data here in Sweden. We at Solita, a very short introduction who we are, if you don't know about us from before. So we were founded in '96 in Finland, and we are 1,650 employees in 6 countries and 14 cities in the Northern Europe. And what we do is all things data. We help our customers to create impact that lasts on their data-driven journey by combining human insight, technology, and data. And our services range from design strategy to development, data, integration, and cloud. So really happy to have you here today joining us in this crash course. And with me today to host this event and to share their expertise are my colleagues from Finland. So Perttu and Minna, really welcome. Looking forward to this presentation. So word is over to you.
Thank you, Linda. And so nice to be here in new office of Stockholm, Solita Stockholm. So first of all, here is Minna. And as you see, we have lots of experience. So I had to go a little bit better than Minna, saying almost 25. And Minna here is former Chief Data Officer of Finnair and has been really building those teams, being there, seeing the battle in different circumstances and really knows that. And we both like something cold, enjoys cold water swimming. I throw discs even in the snow. So in Finnish, at least, we have a saying that when there is a new consultant, so we throw them on a cold water. So that's what we like. We have learned to like. And yes.
Thanks. Maybe that's also the reason why I'm now at Solita. So I like cold water. So when I was thrown to the cold water, I'm still swimming on it. So yeah. Yes, and with me I have Perttu. I'm super happy to do this together with Perttu. We've actually known for like 20 years. So I first met Perttu when I was working for a media company in Finland, Sanoma. And I was responsible for the data warehousing and reporting there. And Perttu was a consultant that we trusted, and he came to help us with our reporting. So that's where our path joined first time, and now after 20 years, we are colleagues, so that's also nice. And Perttu is seasoned expert with data management and architecture, so he has really also swam, but in very different organizations and seen many different private and public sector, finance sector organizations. So he has a lot of experience, really hands-on and real-life experience from data management challenges and how to tackle those in different organizations.
And we are having plenty of time. There will be many kind of visuals, many kind of materials. If you have business background, there's something for you. If you are more in between, there should be something for you. If you are thinking from IT side, there should be something for you. So let's see how it goes. And we have a slogan here, that you invest in data management, whether with a proper plan or in a reactive firefighting mode. And you can maybe raise your hand if that reactive firefighting mode is something that you feel familiar with. And with that modern data management, it would be so nice that we would overcome those obstacles. And we try to answer questions like, why is data management now more important than ever. And I don't spoil it yet. I leave it here. And then Minna will be taking us to a journey showing out that who is in control of the data management investment and who is not, like the different models and different levels of that commitment. And there are tons of real life examples, so that's something to look forward to. And also, like some of you are business managers and there are tons of new initiatives, why this modern data management and why this moment would be a great opportunity to transfer your data management, so such issues. Yes, and here is the agenda. First, I will take you to quite deep paths showing the current situation and the possible issues that you are maybe familiar with in the current situation. It starts with short history of data management and a current way of doing. Then is this modern data management, and there I think that is one of the beefs, one of the key takeaways, that data product thinking, how it could clarify the situation, and we have the examples and initiatives that how you could go forward there. And then in the end, the third part, I would say that the most important thing is to get common understanding of the priorities and so forth within your company or within your data ecosystem or contractor, subcontractor ecosystem, what it is, that what is the priority of these things. And I don't spoil yet, but I have prepared something that if you're falling asleep, so there's something nice to wait for. And we are talking about that there are business initiatives, so each new initiative is a possibility to get things right. And then we have some steps that how you could go forward. So I hope you enjoy. And Minna, could you help me with this one?
Yeah, so I think this is a very interesting and obviously I expect very familiar also for all of you. But this was last year's Gartner Chief Data Officer Survey, so they do that if not every year, then every other year. And they asked from people who are in the role of Chief Data Officer in the organization, what are your current strategic goals? What are you trying to achieve? What are the challenges that you see in your organization? And based on that survey, 80% of the respondents considered that data management capabilities are at the now the most important foundational elements. And I think that's kind of natural because we all see that there are more and more data kind of created and then also utilized in the organization. So it's kind of coming evident that data management, you need to manage that business asset as well. You cannot do without that. So it's really like putting the data and analytics to the front rather than having it as an afterthought after everything else.
Very good. And now would be the time for the history. We don't take too much time with the history stuff. We don't take you to the 60s. We start with 90s, and there we saw a lot of mergers happening, and that kind of one truth through the organization was needed. And I was also doing financial reporting back on days. And then came that leading with knowledge, leading with information, so those teams, and they are still going around. A lot of reporting and digitalization started to raise, and there was process automation and stuff like that. But 2010 entering there, so there were tons of new initiatives and applications. And I must say that what I've seen is that it wasn't data mesh, but it was data mess instead of that. And we go deeper in that because that's one of the root causes of the current situation where we are right now. And now looking 2020, so all business development is related to digital and data development. You maybe can sign that's what it is. And how to choose right and how to fight the battle, because developing something new if it requires data from some sources. So at least our experience is that it takes quite long. If you are in such happy position that all the data is ready for you, so good for you. If you are thinking about IT landscape, so there are a couple of things which I'd like to mention here. And one is that 2010, during that decade, so the first modern data management tools became to race. And that's something to look after, and that's what we are coming back later today. And a lot of new products like data products, data fabric, data mesh, you name it. But also that kind of situation that there are so many applications. I have there some figures. The highest I've seen, like 2,000 production systems. You can make contract with a customer in 200 different systems, and how to get that data and a complete 360 view. So that's a real struggle. Minna, please add something.
Yeah, I definitely recognize this timeline as well. And if I think like in 1990s when it was really mostly about the financial reporting, so it was enough to do, for example, batch data loads and refreshing the reports maybe on monthly basis or maybe weekly basis. That was enough. And there was, of course, financial reporting has also a lot of regulations and requirements related to it. So there were these governance and management things in place, because you need to know your figures and you need to be able to explain where those figures came from. So you need to know the data and need to trust it. But then when towards 2010, the digital really took over, and like, well, tsunami or like a lot of applications started to come to the organization, that there was more data all over the place, and then this way of managing centralized one through financial, it wasn't like scalable for that anymore. And then different teams really try to kind of fix their own, and obviously with the digitalization you get also a lot of propel heads, and you kind of start thinking your own way of capturing and kind of managing the data. But now we are in the situation that we understand that we need to find a way, not utilizing the 1990s way, because that's not fit for the purpose in this situation, but really find a way where we get back the control over the data, so that we actually manage properly the data that we have and that we want to base our business on.
Yes. Exactly. Yes, now it would be time to take you those deep waters I promised. So before going there, I must say that you all have done really good job. Like your businesses are running well, and in data warehousing side and all that's what has been going on, and reporting side. So there you have really done a good job. But what we are more talking about is the operational data battle. And my big claim is that it's maybe not led by anyone. There are some things, some technologies, some tools, lots of integrations, but let's see. So here is the deep waters picture. And we are going to foresee to 2025. So 2 years from now, if you continue, and this doesn't apply all of you, the situations where you are now. Like it can happen that in the same company, there are departments and there are initiatives which are running really well. But in the same company, there are situations which like remind of this, what I'm addressing here. And please, could you read this scenario? I have written it here. And if someone can say when they have read it. Yes. So they were more interested on new features and maybe even processes, but the foundation for the account and contract data wasn't there. And there's a case I will briefly go through. So there was on finance sector that kind of enthusiastic, agile development team who promised that in 3 months you have the first version ready. And 1.5 years they looked quite tired and they still didn't have the source data. And this is a true story, and it didn't happen only once. So the manager needed to say that they have the required data, but didn't understand the amount of effort to get it right. So very basic stuff, and if this is there, like I have also been consulting Nokia cluster back in days, and they did manage centrally most of their data assets. And those people who have been involved in that said that it was quite easy. Those roles were clear, solutions were clear, global rollouts were clear, so it was quite easy. But somehow, along the way, we lost it. I'm a bit negative. I'm still going deeper. So here, this is maybe the worst case scenario, but this is what we have seen. I have been myself drawing these process pictures, and they end up in email hassle. They end up in question mark, and then the person says that in this place I sent a bunch of emails and hope that someone replies. And also, like the data development has been more that data warehousing and reporting side, and then when we think about application development on the right upper corner. So there is application A and B, so they are interested on those applications, they are not interested on common data, they are interested on new features, and that data development is some very And then a true story from finance sector, the data pipelines, they become so slow and so long that there are places which can't get anything else than like monthly updates to their figures, and building something like that kind of innovative new applications and services, it's not possible based on that data. So something should change. And then the spider web of integrations, because I have that architecture background, I will take that one more in detail. But don't worry, there won't be too many of those. But let's see how it goes. And in this picture, I have used like traffic lights. The green is good one, and you have been doing some very good job with your data warehousing. There are production ERP, there is Salesforce, CRM, more systems having 3 dots there, collecting the data and using that for multiple purposes, for multiple reports, and that's the whole point. But also there we see manual steps in Excels, and Excel used as source, and maybe some of them are not, they are like sophisticated guesses many times. And what happens here? So there is the old application, because you have been so busy developing the new application, but there are some functionalities still in the old, and some of the data, they have just application team decided that we store it somewhere, and then the other team noticed that that's quite useful. So it became that kind of temporary data hub. But that temporary data hub doesn't have all of the data, which means that there is dotted line, we should do some more integrations. And when you join point to point so that the source and target knows each other's, you are making that scary spider net. And I have put MDM like that because of the thing that it should scale. Whatever you do on data management side, so it really should scale. And here you see it is only maybe serving the old application and maybe some dotted lines goes through it. But how to make wise decisions and how to scale them? So that is the question, and how to get rid of these temporary data hubs. A true story, maybe when you are doing a price change, so you have to do it in 5, 6, 10 applications, and really be sure that to all the channels that we have the right prices on place. Yet another application. I don't want to be visiting you and saying that, well, there is yet another application, and you are counting that, well, I have 200 or 500 already. Why should I bother? Yes, we are reaching the end of this first section, and I really hope that you found something which was familiar for you. And here we hope this is a little bit different picture. There's a lot of happening there. This one guy may be drowning, not quite. He knows how to swim. No, don't worry. But how this modern data management could bridge those ID guys who are talking about legacy, security, platforms, integration, all sorts of stuff, and these people who are talking about revenue per account, competitors, data quality, OPEX margin, and these data governance people, so that it would be governed so that they would understand that they are actually playing the same game. They have the same target, so that when these guys are talking that they should do some version upgrade to one old system, so these bosses wouldn't say that, well, we don't do that, but they would know that it is related to the thing that I get the data right. So of course we must do that. And how this actually happens. So Minna will be talking next about that. And there we will see the different settings where the different organizations or organization units can be. So please, Minna.
Thank you. Yeah, like Perttu explained, the history, so what has brought us to where we are today, and there's of course a lot of reasons why we are where we are, and obviously different organizations are looking different, so it's not like everything is equal, but what I will go through is trying to simplify a bit what type of organizations there are now in this journey, and that can be even taken a bit like a maturity model. So you could think that if I recognize that our organization is the second one or third one here, then what might be the steps to kind of move forward. And then I will talk about data products, because I hope that that's something that you also have in your mind, that what is it? Sounds interesting. But continuing Perttu's message, you are already paying for the data management, but is your organization in control of it, or is it just ad hoc happening because you anyway use data? There is no organization without data these days, that's for sure. So on the bottom there is like a line where on the other end it's seen data is purely a cost, and because it's a cost, let's try to keep it as minimum as possible. The less cost, the better. And then on the other side, there is data provides value to our business. So it's an asset that will provide value. We want to take care of it. We want to make sure that we build our business with data and using data. So the very first organization, these are, by the way, also real examples or based on real examples, so and not actually so far away in time either. So this is still happening. The first one is that the data management is controlled by vendors. So basically the organization doesn't have any investments in data management or data development on their own. They are purely relying that we have our CRM vendors, we have our ERP vendors, and obviously all the big vendors have their data platforms and analytical offering and so forth. So kind of purely relying that, hey, we have this CRM, and that this Salesforce is anyway providing us the analytics platform, and they take care of that. So why would we invest time or money on that? So this is what it looks like in the reality then. There's somebody is looking for kind of developing their online shop by having more targeted analysis or targeted intelligence there. So when the customer comes, they get like interesting offers or targeted content there. But because their data management is controlled by vendors, it's basically they need to wait for the ERP's next release, where this this capability is coming out, so they are not able to take their customer data and do the models themselves. They wait for the ERP vendor to provide that sort of feature. Okay, so it's coming September. Well, we need to put then on hold this feature and wait until we get that. And then there might be some person like on the background in the organization who has that analytical mindset, and they already recognize that, hey, but that feature is only going to use the customer data that we have in the ERP system. We also have these customer surveys. We also have other customer data sources, and we would really benefit if we could kind of build the model that utilizes like a 360 view of the customer and not just this particular slice. But there is no way of impacting that. So that's basically, you are in a way stuck with what the vendors decide to publish, and then also thinking about the competitive advantage. It's not there because any other company can also use the same ERP system. They get exactly the same features. You cannot really be very innovative there. So that's where your vendors are kind of controlling your data management and data development. Then there's the second. So this is operative cost controlled. So there already is a data management team in the organization. So people are hired and there is a team, but they are in IT and they also are cost center of their own. So they have their own budget, and usually the budget is based on like IT total cost. So you might benchmark your IT cost level with Gartner's benchmarking that how much do other companies in our industry on this size spend on IT, and then data management is one slice there. And it's not connected to the business value, so it's only looked at how much do we put on reporting licenses, how much do we put on data warehousing, data platform licenses. And this is what it looks in the daily life there. So there's a person asking that, hey, I need the sales numbers. Can you get me the sales numbers from last week, because we have a big meeting tomorrow and I would need them. And this person thinks that, yeah, we have the report, but the BI licenses are very expensive, so I don't want to give this person the license because that means more cost. So I will just extract the data from there and send them over mail. And then this other person is thinking that, yeah, when I get it, I will copy it to my Excel where I keep all my data. So kind of trying to limit the IT cost of data management is actually causing that spaghetti, that spider web, and a lot of issues with data quality, different replicas of the same data, and so forth. But when the team is a cost center and they are basically managed that how low can you get the cost, then you are trying to prevent giving licenses or thinking about what are the different tools to get these things done. Then we start to be in the middle of the scale here, and this is something where it's like project risk management related. So data management activities are already part of the business project. So there can be, for example, CRM implementation project or a ERP renewal project that usually has a clear business case, because you need to have your business case calculations first to get financing for that. And then you have the data management activities in the project. But very often, because of risk management, you have kind of separated the data work into different stream or different package, like work package in the project. And then this might happen. So the project manager comes and says, hey, our project is a resource running late, so we talked about it in the steering group, and we decided that we will scope out this data management work so that we make sure that the actual project gets live in time. And then we have the data people here thinking that, oh no, this means that there's more hidden work in the maintenance, because everybody's anyway expecting that the reports will work and then the integrations will work, but then it's like a maintenance work. Actually, it's the same work, but you just like somehow try to hide it somewhere. and then the person who understands what's the value of having the data flowing and trusting the data thinks that I hope the data team is fixing this anyway, even though it's not anymore part of this project. Okay, then we move more towards the data provides value understanding. And so there's a business strategy controlled, but limited focus. For example, there can be a strategic initiative in the organization that we actually want to improve our customer engagement. We want to make sure that our customers build longer-term relationship with us, and that way we get more revenue. And then usually it can be, for example, that there is like this different like internal team set up, and it's reporting directly to the C-level, and their goal is really to achieve that business goal, not like a IT goal, but they have these data people and analysts and everybody. So it's already kind of a cross-functional team, but it's purely focusing on specific strategic initiative. So it's already a good that, hey, we have this customer insight program, so now we get better insights from them, and then we can improve our work with that. And then finally, it's basically the previous one, except that it's not focusing only on one, but it's kind of embedded in everything, all the business goals. So whatever is happening, for example, thinking that, hey, I have an idea of a new offering, it would be interesting for our customer segment, and then there are analysts saying that, hey, we can put together this analysis and we can find if there is value, if the data kind of provides confidence that this is good thing to do. And then there might be this technical or data person saying that, hey, I know that we can actually capture abandoned shopping basket data from our web shop and start using that away. So it's really like a collaboration, bringing different mindset, the business mindset, the data and analytics mindset, and the technical mindset together and using that. And there you can see those little puzzle pieces. So those are already kind of starting to indicate that for this to work, you actually need the data products that are connecting with each other, so that this team doesn't have to start from scratch everything, but there's already functioning data products that they can use, and then they can maybe build something new from them as well. So, bridge to the next topic. To make this happen, you need to rethink the data as a product, and that is a really new mindset. It's not only a technical thing, of course, technology is involved, so you need to have certain ways of using technology to build those data products, manage the data products, but in reality it's also a big mindset thinking, like data is not anymore the afterthought, it's not anymore something that we scrap from all over the place and try to make the analysis or report or model for a specific case, but we actually think about the reusability and shareability of it. What is data product? And then spoiler, you already have them, but the question is, do you treat them as data products? So, typical data products, for example, your financial forecast, that is in a way data product, or your customer master data, or your shopping event data. They can all be products. What makes them products is they need to have a clear value for the business. So they need to serve the purpose of the people or for the business. They obviously need to be also documented, so it's not that somebody just knows. There needs to be a data catalog, a glossary that explains what are these products, what is their purpose, what can you use them, are there restrictions related to using them, and so forth. And obviously they need to have an owner, because every product needs to have an owner, product owner. It's data product owner. And the product owner needs to have a vision. They then still need budget, resources, and they need to manage the life cycle of that product. And it has a service level agreement, which means that when you are the consumer, the user of the data product, you can fully rely that you always get what you need. And if the team changes something, the team is responsible of changing only what's inside the product, but actually they always, the output needs to be standard, or you need to make a new agreement. So there will be no surprises if somebody changes something somewhere. Oh, oops, it's not anymore working like that, which I guess for people working on data and analytics is kind of what we all have faced, that there are these uncontrolled changes happening. And the gray parts there indicate that these need to be able to connect with each other. You need to be able to connect your financial forecast product and your customer data product, for example. They cannot be totally different, and then there's no connection there. I'm just checking time-wise where we are. Okay, good. You will just do this one. Yeah, I can talk about this for ages. So like said, I think looking two perspectives, again, simplifying a lot. So data product, because it needs to serve the purpose of business, and it needs to have very close link to the business value, it actually needs to be in the business. The ownership needs to be in the business. It needs to be owned and developed by the people who are in control of that data. And that's the business, basically, because business makes the decisions, how do we run our processes which create the data. And of course, they are the best ones to understand the context, like what value does this bring, and is there restrictions, for example, competition things or agreement restrictions or something that we cannot use this data product for certain use cases. And then from the technology point of view, the reusability and interoperability, so that they connect with each other, that's the key. So every data product needs to be easy to find. That links back to the data catalog. It needs to be accessible. That leads back to this kind of a commonly agreed technical ways of how do you create the APIs, for example. How can we make sure that everybody can access the data products? Interconnected and reliable. And reliable goes, I would say, back to data catalog and the glossary and the documentation, that everybody has the information that this is what this is, and then the reliability also comes from the reusability, that you can actually trust what you get. It's not going to change uncontrolled. So, summarizing a bit at this point, overall ability to impact on your data management. So are you in control, or are vendors controlling? Are you controlling the cost only, or are you actually controlling the business value? That was the five steps. And then from the team perspective, the right objectives can boost the team to pull together to the same direction. So basically those two last examples, there was this business objective that everybody was doing the work towards together, whereas in the other ones it was more like IT costs here and business value here, but the big gap in between. And two teams, this if your target is to save costs, then that's where you focus, and if your target is improving business value, sales, for example, that's where you want to achieve. But if you don't have the same goal, then you are actually not working together. So funding what matters most to your business ensures you also get the value. Fund the initiatives that are linked to the business value, business goals. And again, referring to Gartner's CDO survey. So obviously, what I explained there might seem like easy and no-brainer. Yeah, of course, that's what we should do. And it's easy to build those those pictures of here's a data product and here's a data product and this is how they connect. But then, like I said, it's a mindset change. So in reality, talent shortage, culture challenges, to accept the change, to change the way we work together and how we do things, is a huge barrier. So next question is that, okay, so does culture then eat all the good intentions? Well, I mean, can we really change anything? It's a nice theory, but what happens then when we go into that real world and say that, hey, we want to change this? So a bit of an explanation what is meant by organization culture. So basically, it's a combination of behaviors and values. So what does the organization value, and how do they behave in terms of getting that value? And then that is also impacted by what type of competencies, skills, knowledge there is in the organization, and what kind of well, this comes from theory, so materials, but basically this means kind of guidelines, playbooks, tools, anything related to kind of what helps you to do that work. So it's kind of based on these two. So if you want to start changing the culture, the first thing is to bring the value in, something that people feel that this is something that is going to be beneficial. I want to change how we work, how I work. There is this really nice opportunity that is going to help me to do my work better, so I'm ready to rethink how we work. And then when that happens, then feeding in and supporting with providing skills, knowledge, building those competencies, hiring, training, all this, and then bringing the right tools into the organization as well. And maybe, again, repeating the data catalog, because I see that is one of the, from my work perspective, one of the most talked tool at the moment. And I think it makes full sense that when you have these data products distributed all over the organization, you need to also have this one place where you can actually find information about data and data products, and that's where the enterprise data catalogs comes into play. Perttu, I'm sure you have some practical ideas as well.
Yes, I'm super thrilled of one concept, and it is something quite different. So think it as something what you would have on the table. If the sustainability is not on your table at the moment, take the good principles what I will show here. But there is this legislation that many companies have to react to it, and who wouldn't like to be a greener company? So there is also a possibility to do good. And yes, it has a link how data management can help in it. So let's see. So this would be kind of like a storyline, how those data products could help you and how you could talk with them, with your management, so that they would be interested about the topic. And the usual storyline goes so that let's buy something ready-made to solve this situation quickly. Will it affect your operational processes? Nope. Will it meet the minimum requirements? Yes, you get some reports, some yearly report. A better storyline would be that on top of sustainability team, let's think a bit of the operations too. So there's aim for that. And leaders, what you have seen on the market in different industries, they see this as a real opportunity to become really data-driven company and make real difference in their footprint and handprint, what they are offering, services and so forth. And if you think about the IT side, so the IT guys are saying, yes, the user interface of the tool looks nice, but it is based on some survey forms and partly outdated Excels. And the second storyline is speaking Swedish. Hey, there's a sustainability data engineer in IT, great. So it adds something, so it will have some connections there. But leaders are thinking that so nice that business is interested on our material master and our data sharing capabilities because they see that as a link, how to really get the details there. And with our customers and suppliers, thinking about the whole ecosystem. And if you then add AI and machine learning into the process, they would also believe that now the IT and business, now they are making real change. And I wanted to mention that AI and machine learning as well, because if you play it in the previous scenarios, it will have little effects. But if you play it in the full-scale scenario, it has more effects. And it's me again. So what you will see next is the worst-case scenario. So you do the minimum. As Minna was telling, business data products for the sustainability overview for yearly reports. So that's what you are driving. But the enabling data products are some query forms or partly outdated Excels. So what you get in, so that's what you get out as well. So your business benefits are a little bit unsure. And here I have divided the data products to business data products and to enabling data products, and this should connect. Hold with me. This won't take too long if this is something which is not interesting for you, but at least it's interesting for me. I'm really thrilled about this topic. So with data products, the things really change. So if you really want to attract your customers and suppliers, you have to make all the details right and keep on getting better in the area of sustainability. You have possibility for green funding. You are seen as a green player, and thirdly, you have optimized value chains, and that doesn't happen if you don't change the data focus to the operations, so that this data management and this new business initiative they go hand in hand. What kind of business data products there would be? There would be not only the sustainability report, but sustainability insight, which you can look from different angles and go to the very details. And then there's this operational sustainability. When in your operations there has to be some decisions that how to go forward, which material to use, and so the data is there, the tools are there, and that happens. And this comes a little complicated, but the enabling data products that these IT people are talking so much about, there are the skills and tools Minna mentioned. And now, as I said, so the IT people are so thrilled that the business people are interested on their materials and origin master data management. And this is not what they are talking there 2 levels higher or 2 floors higher, but they are talking about the possibility for green funding, and then when this one comes to table, they know that it is linked to that. They have end-to-end data. They have the historical data, so that they can have different trends and so forth, and possibility to have third-party data as well. And if this looks complicated, so remember that you can take one slice, one business case per time, and build it, and then it is quite easy to implement. But then when the IT and business people are talking, now they are talking the same language. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the example.
Thank you.
Yes. Are we done with data products? I think so. So it would be time to move to the how to go forward section. And there in the getting common understanding is the little trick I promised you to keep you awake. And each new initiative is a possibility to get things right. We are looking one particular reference case in detail. And then there are resources and that kind of topics that how to go forward from here. But now you don't have the negative picture first. You have this one is paired for the one you saw, so it is this one. Ownerships, roles, and responsibilities are defined and in use. How many of you made a data governance study and it is somewhere, but in use? And this is the key, what we have seen. When they are in use, so all the other stuff happens as well. And here in objectives, information management and applications forms a big picture and gets synergy, so that when they are developing them, they are thinking that how what data we enter here or create here or modify here, how it contributes for the common data model or the data asset that we are having. And no single shot solutions anymore. I have said it quite many times already, but the data is made truly reusable and the investment provides value time after time and is not sunk cost. And this is storyline for the fun part, which is coming soon. And here you see some API management and data is made reusable, source and target independent. And this is important because when the source and target don't know each other, so then when one of them changes, so the other one can continue. Let's take an example that there is this new application that everyone is thrilled about, and the ERP there on the background changes. So they can continue developing their stuff because the API interfaces remain the same. They don't need to pay attention for that how to get the data. And now in this world, if you do some security advancements, you add security, you do some data quality things and so forth, and the tools are centrally managed, and it is not that kind of tool jungle. So it affects and benefits all the interfaces and all the data you have published through that interface. Okay, I hope you like it, because we are going to enter Data Management Casino. So what I'm meaning by that is that you, as managers, you are playing your tokens, you are playing your money as wisely as you can. But from this perspective, what Minna and me, we have been presenting for you, if you play it without a plan, so what happens? And again, you will see the negative use case as well. But anyhow, how the situation could be moved and transferred so that there would be something different in order to reap the reusing benefits. I promised everybody that I don't talk about disc golf, but little bit. Some of you are sportsmen, and I would say it's so that if it's only business, the throwing hand, so the disc doesn't fly too far. But now I have a coach who has really taught me how to use my hips so that the hips turn, and that would be maybe the idea. So, and if they do it parallelly, so then you really get the like long distance and excel in the competition with your rivals. But anyhow, let's go to the casino and follow closely. I tell this only once. You play your tokens, and this is the end comes. Everyone is looking after direct customer value and winning user experience. And this is, you are for your customers. Like in different companies, you have internal customers, you have external customers. And this is very easy to tell your management. But here are traffic lights of data management, and this is usually hidden. And this red one, you have done good job there, but it is only for single purpose. It is single purpose, and now I say a little bit provocative way that is data waste. It has been made for that very purpose, but it doesn't serve any other purpose. It is difficult to maintain. It is maybe some old technology, possible security, leaks, maybe some privacy issues as well, and that's technology circus. And no return, no win, recurring costs instead. You have to keep on like supporting it like year after year. And then the next one, the yellow one, would be building capabilities for data sharing. This is something in green lights what you need in order to get the green one in traffic lights. So building capabilities for data sharing, possibility for big winning multiplier, risky without business case. So no more platforms without business cases. And this green one, that's my favorite one, reusable and good quality data. scalability and security. If you do something for the security, so it is valid for all the coming use cases as well. Possibility for recurring wins. This is nice. This is something to look forward to. So now, purple one, direct customer value, and then traffic lights. Red one is don't drive there. Green one is the way to go. Now you remember those. And then here is your situation. You have placed your bets and hope for the best. You have new application development. You have placed there some money. Let's say they are 100K each. I don't care of the currency. There's some currency. Alt application, analytics get some money. Here in the middle, there are some capabilities, some super busy teams doing integrations and all sorts of stuff, but no common plan to fight the data battle. And you place there some money. Let's see what to achieve from data management point of view. And to ERPs, you place some money because these others need data from CRM and from those other applications as well. And now if we would get some casino music, please. Yes, and it is me again. You got the worst case scenario first. So in this new application development, and remember, I have only the data reusability classes on right now. So from that viewpoint, if we are looking at the new application development, so as I told you, there is the eager, agile development team. But they got frustrated because all the data they needed from the legacy, from the customer systems and so forth, it was so scattered that these people who are not maybe data professionals even should have somehow got the data from somewhere, and they made some emphasis, and back-end coders did some emphasis and so forth. So the same thing with old application. Little bit of customer value, as you can read there, quite much of that data waste, of that budget, what you spent there. In analytics, the situation is quite much better, but there too, people are fighting with data quality issues, with some missing data and so forth. But anyway, the situation there is slightly better. And here in the middle, a lot of work, but most of it is like for one time only, little bit reusable. And there, these teams are super busy, providing data to each possible use case. And if it's financial sector, so there are those legal requirements, for an example, coming. So these teams are super busy. And if you are just some new application people, so it is maybe not guaranteed to get priority. And now there are some managers on the audience as well. So we translate this to spreadsheets. So we collect the coins and have them here. So this line goes there, the next one line goes there, and the last line goes there. And this is, again, a little bit provocative. 20% reusable, 80% sunk cost. But these kind of things, please think in your organization, what would work so that you could show the hidden work, what Minna was also referring to. That where it happens and what kind of effects it has for those your business critical projects, that there is not like nice things happening on the middle. And I throw my 2 cents into the picture, and we'll discuss a little bit example outcomes that what could happen there in the middle. And it is here. So it is quite small but this is just to give you that high-level example that you could have a clear, inspiring data vision describing how data will create new value for the businesses and for the customers, and visualize it nicely. And this is something that you really go forward with. That's how you get your funding for your project. And then when you go more in detail, you have the data opportunities at the high level use cases for creating business and customer value, and prioritized. That is one of the agile principles that limit the amount of stuff that is ongoing at the same time, but get something ready as well. Have the architecture vision, which is data first architecture, when you do your enterprise architecture. And this one is one of our favorites, and you can find blogs about that. The most important data capability bottlenecks. There can be bottlenecks in culture, as Minna was referring, in leadership, in organization, in skills, in goals, ways of working, in the actual data. But it is only one piece here, and usually we are talking only about data, but there are so many to it. In technology, tools are easy if everything is else in place. Here it is in green. And in algorithms then, how to apply, do you use some machine learning or so. And then you are ready to do the data development roadmap. You have the data opportunities and data capabilities, and have a yearly plan how you fight your rivals. Yes, and that new way of working and getting it to use those roles and responsibilities so that you don't only assign them to super busy people, but that those people really have the time and effort to make it happen. So no more music anymore. It was fun for the first time, but no more music now. Now we have placed our tokens, and we see that what happens now. So now what we see, there is complete data journey in the middle. The objectives, the opportunities, capabilities, architectures, responsibilities are there. And now what we get when you invest, you get 2/3 like direct customer value. Little bit they have to define and be interested at what kind of data they consume and produce. But anyhow, it is much better, the situation in the upper area now. Thinking about this middle, where there is now that kind of common understanding that what should happen in this modern data management layer, little bit you have to do the enabling work. But these modern tools are quite nice in that sense that you can get them as a service many times and so forth. They are not those multi-year MDM projects which failed in the early 2000s. And all the data you do there, you make reusable. And what we have seen and what would be nice would be that these are big systems like ERPs and CRMs. They make their data available only once, and most preferably real-time data or business real-time data, so that you can build the new services on top of them. You make it only once available, and you make it reusable, and see much less coins here. So they can concentrate, and they are most likely to succeed in what they are developing, because they don't have to worry about delivering the data for the whole other organization. Some red coin is sticking there, some point-to-point integrations happen, and it is okay. And when you get that attitude that this is the way you do, so it should be easy. And you guessed it already, some spreadsheets. So this value of time after time, so that's something to look forward to. And now you would be doing 80% reusable and 20% sunk cost. It is not this simple, but just to give you the communication tools, how to address and how to get business to be interested on architecture pictures. Yes. Now is the time for the example. And there is this example data management case. This is very busy slide, but I will walk you through it in detail. So it was logistics company, turnover between 1 and 2 billion euros. And it started with customer B2B and B2C domains. And finally, they had everything, like 50 different data domains centrally managed. Their roads, their road legs, their trucks, everything. And they could provide that data for the applications which were using that. If it would have been done the other way, so that the applications would have owned that, so the data would have resided in single applications. Some data there, some other data there, and this was the outcome. And what was the beginning of the story? There were tens of different registries containing parallel data from different viewpoints. And when people were thinking that I'd like to use that registry, but it doesn't have those details, then the other registry had the details but didn't have all the data because it was from different angle. So instead of that, getting only one source of truth. And what previously was taking weeks in manual process, and the customers needed to know how the process worked, because our customer was saying that this is how we operate. If you want that service, so it's manual process, and this is how it goes, and those things that could be automated were done manually. So there were new tools, processes, and practices of core data management, and I would say that I have seen big improvement in the tools. The tools which were like ID-based required a lot of learning how to use and what to do and where. They have completely changed, so that the modern, let's say, master data management tools, for an example, like when the other organization unit was seeing a demo, they said that that's so easy to use that we want the same, and inside of the organization it was selling itself. This data quality issues have been with us decades already, so they really got improved data quality, because when they now centrally improved the data quality, it helped all the using applications and organizations. And that online processes instead of weeks of manual work through an online app. And thinking of that online app so that digital development could concentrate on that winning user experience, as I was saying, and not integrating to the ERP system, because the data system was there in the middle. And the ERP could concentrate on the transactions, not providing the data and making that kind of hard link between the application development or app development and the ERP. Agile development is one of my favorites as well. We don't go there too much, but this is something that provide value from the very beginning. And there I link back to the first one. So the record was implementing 10 additional data domains and taking to production, taking them into use in 3 months only. So when we got it running, so it was quite nice ride. Yes. What to look forward to when you are choosing those tools? So those modern and easy use UIs and easy to adapt and use for business users. So what the business users actually do when they are using the system, they are using it as another system, so or the workflow goes so fluently that they don't maybe even notice that they are using some MDM. They are just making and creating the different assets using that interface, and it is directly linked to what they are doing next. And this light to implement. My team at the moment has more than 20 master data cases running globally, and they are succeeding. That wasn't the storyline some decades ago when the first MDM systems came. So many of those initiatives failed. And fast business value. Business value first. Now it was last in my slide. Okay. And looking at that picture here more in detail. So it is here. Not giving the digital application a hefty budget and making that integration spider net. Not getting the new ERP project a multi-year that kind of schedule, because if it's so long, so it is maybe old when it is finally alive, and it comes so big that the other parts are not so easily integrated to it. But to having the data tools, the data assets like products and tools and all that, and those data use cases there in the middle, and really steering it and putting effort there, because you need to scale that. If it's only that 178th application and 80% goes different way and is some temporary solutions. So that doesn't bring you the benefits I was telling you, but it has to be scaled company-wide. And also in that kind of world, when you need to renew your legacy, it is more likely to succeed because they don't need to worry about the different hierarchies and old IDs and all sorts of stuff, because the data layer is taking care of that on operational side as well. Now I've been talking quite long. It is time for Minna to come here, please.
Just shortly, yes, thank you. So maybe now summarizing what I was talking earlier and what Perttu has been talking. So thinking about, again, clustering and simplifying a bit. So first of all, you need your data management strategy. So that's where the vision and the business objectives and results come into play. So really understand, why are we doing this? What is the business value that we want to get? That's the strategy part. And then on the bottom, data product management. So actually managing those data products. That's where I talked about the ownership and life cycle and budget and vision and all that. And then when we think about the whole enterprise, the whole organization, you will start having these data products in various places, in business units, in processes, in organizationally distributed, also business content-wise distributed. So you need to manage the ecosystem to be able to connect these together. And that's why you need the middle one, the data product ecosystem management. And that's where this interoperability, the data catalogs, the common ways of managing and building the products comes into play.
Yes. It was quite sudden.
Yes.
And I will end, and we will end with these 5 things to start with. There were tons of materials. I'm sorry for that, but I hope that some of the materials you found useful and you can use and fine-tune for your purposes, so that your management and your management support to see the strategic value in modern data management as a key enabler for business development, and somehow making the unseen and hidden work visible, and making that, saying that we can do it easier. And don't worry if something was a little complicated. You can start small. You can start by getting some interest there and starting a program, not just individual project. Because if you have a master data project or data catalog project or data governance project, it alone won't bring you the benefits, but somehow you should unite it and prioritize that what is most important just for your company. And something I have been struggling a lot is that some IT architects think that data architects are not maybe there. They are just doing the data warehouse and data lake and also that stuff. But them to join so that it wouldn't be IT architecture, but it would be data-driven IT architecture and enterprise architecture, and that data-first architecture. Yes, the priority and resources are there. Scaling fast so that you think that when you are doing something with the data, you do it company-wide. Not like that kind of complete world, but maybe the 0.1 version and roll it to start with. And we said it quite many times. It's people who make the change. It's you who make the change. And those trainings and master classes to raise the level of understanding. So there would be maybe some other people in your companies as well who would need some training in order to understand how you can fight the data battle better.
Yes. So thank you so much, Minna and Perttu. So let's see now, and we'll move on to the Q&A session. And we have a few questions coming in from the audience joining us online. What roles and competencies or involvement are required on the business side regarding data management? It's a broad, big topic, but is it possible to summarize it some way?
Yes, well, one clear role is the ownership of the data, and that can start from really educating, training the business to understand what does that mean and why is it important. But that's definitely, looking at our customer projects, one of the roles that is usually missing and then understood in this process when identifying the data products, that this is actually a role that we don't have as such in the organization, and that's for the business.
It's quite a new and emerging role.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Another question here, very specific regarding data catalogs. But do you have any tips on how to establish a lightweight data catalog or glossary without the big data catalog project? How to start small, lightweight?
Good question. Minna is looking at me, and I'm looking at Minna.
I would say that start with the people who have the biggest pain at the moment with not being able to find information about data, and maybe choose just a small group and then start thinking at what would they need and start to kind of fulfill that, and then you can also expand later. So it's a bit like these data products or data development. So find the business case through the motivation of people solving their problem, and then you get interest, and then you can most likely continue.
Yeah, so really start with one product and where the pain is the greatest.
Yeah.
Isn't that usually how we run the data project? So
Yes.
So not the big bang projects, but rather
exactly.
Yes. And then I don't know if we have any questions from the audience. We have another one come in here regarding source systems. How smart would it be to have your CRM be your data source? Is this a good solution? And I'm assuming that kind of a direct connect to a CRM system without the data platform. How's that for a solution?
I don't know the settings that how it is and what data would be there, but those data ecosystems, like they are good places for source data as well. Like you can build quite nice services on top of CRM as well. But what is really a key would be sharing it to others, because there are, for example, if it would be customer data or contract data, so there are other ones needing that, and how to share it like real time or business real time. So those would be the key questions.
Another one regarding roles. So who should ideally lead a data management program? Is it business, IT, or a dedicated data team? Or should it be kind of a mix of all of them?
I can start. And Minna can then tell the right answer. So for me, I have been providing services and making projects for IT for a long time, and to link that with business so that there is the business drive and business understands. So when there are thumbs up from the both parties, so then I know in the same meeting there are the C-level managers, there are the IT people, there are the data people, there are the enterprise architects, and everyone is having thumbs up. So that's the best case scenario. Then I know that now we succeed. And who is then interested enough of having that role, and how the organization gives that like much enough power for that person or organization to decide on the behalf of others as well things. So that's maybe those main questions. Minna.
I have a similar answer, but I would say that at the end of the day, it's the business that suffers. It's really not the IT. So that's why I think the business needs to be as a sponsor and the owner of that. But then the IT knows how to do it wisely, so they need to be also involved, and they then bring the how and what part, but why needs to be owned by business.
Yeah, I agree. And then regarding data catalogs, so could you give some examples of good products for implementing a data catalog? A tool which is not too complex?
I think that at the moment there are quite many quite good alternatives there on the market, and I won't prioritize them right now because there are different needs and different fits for purpose of different tools. But generally speaking, I would say that the situation within 5 last years or even 3 last years has gone better. There are like quite big and complete sets. There are some which are tied from some cloud platform like Microsoft, and there are some even freeware things which so there are, like, in many categories, good choices. And I think that the governance around them is more important than the choice of the tool.
I think it's important to understand first what problems you are solving with the data catalog, and then you can find the best fit for you. And there's definitely a lot of development happening, has happened, and is happening fast. So
Yeah. And I think so, also adding to that, the way that to procure a tool in any of the data spaces today, it's start small, right? And do POCs and trials and kind of be hands-on and avoid those Excel spreadsheets with scoring and kind of picking tools in theory, but rather get hands on the product, right?
yes, and involve the users. That's the number one.
Yeah. Another one, so regarding data and different sources, and if you have a lot of dashboards with different departments, how do you get the most important data into one tool with a good overview? What kind of tools do you see possible to use? And I guess also this is not really a tooling question, but kind of rather data platform question, how to combine data from different parts of the organization, get one overview.
I can go first, then you can compliment. I would say that if it would be only the tool, so then the data wouldn't be maybe stored anywhere, which would mean that when you then report previous months again, maybe the figures change a little. So it would be good to get the snapshots even on monthly level somewhere stored on a data warehouse or data hub, and then have that common understanding of those figures and have them right like company-wide. So it wouldn't be maybe the reporting tool problem, but more like the platform level or data warehousing level issue.
Yeah, I would also start with why here. So first of all, what is it that you really need from the reporting? Like what do you want to get with the information? Very often the reason behind having like a huge amount of reports is that people don't know reports exist, so they build them again, or they don't know how to use the tools, so they just simply use different tools, but for the same purpose. And then also the ownership issue, which kind of goes back to that data product. So for example, if your financial forecast is a data product that it has a clear owner, then the owner knows exactly that exists and what to do with it. With reports, there are people just building those, and then other people start using them, and then somebody leaves, and then you just continue using, and then nobody really knows that can we ramp this down or not? Is this possible? Or is this really critical? So maybe if it's the situation that you just have too many, starting again with like who needs and what and how do they want to consume it, and then start from there.
I totally agree. Like if company has 200 KPIs, they can't get better in each of them like this half of the year. What if they would have only 2 or 3 like company-wide, and these are what we really are looking forward to improving. So having those department level details then, and having those common, and that would be easy to implement.
Yeah, and I also read into this question regarding tooling that you can have one or many tools on top, but it's really about if you need to combine data, you need to combine it kind of on the back end side. So you wouldn't do that in an analytical tool like Power BI or Tableau, but you would rather kind of focus on the back end to combine the data.
Exactly.
And then the tooling on the front end is less important. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was about it. There's a question if the material, the presentation, can it be shared?
Of course.
Yes, so we will
Yes.
share the material. And a comment, great presentation. Thank you so much for arranging this event. Do we have any questions, final question from the audience?
Yes. Can you hear me? Yes. I have a question. My name is Thomas Kjellman, and I work as a master data management lead at ICA Group, and I'm involved in data governance and data management initiative. But I have a question related to the modern data management hypothesis. What role does MDM as a practice play in that modern data management hypothesis?
Yes.
Do you
I'd like
think?
to answer that first. I'm
You
so
can
eager to
answer
answer always.
Yes, you
As
can.
a tool, as a practice.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I think that that is a key element if you are combining any data from any unit or organization part of your company. So if the master data is centrally managed and then distributed or the way you do it, so you can combine data from here and from there, and it is like the key element. But I wouldn't run it like alone, but have next to it operational data hub or something like that, where you have like more data which is related for that master data. And things to look after would be then data quality, some tooling there, maybe some have that there, and then maybe data catalogs in two purpose. First, to find out that what all source data you have scattered everywhere in your company, and then what you are like offering as a data management officer or MDM responsible for the audience, like that kind of business data catalog, or even business, you could call it marketplace, data marketplace, that this is what we have available for you. So crucial part.
Yes, but not alone.
No.
Yeah, I have nothing to add. I think that's master data management is very close to the data product thinking in a sense.
Yes, and there is one last comment from the online audience. If each and every one of you will receive a certificate, if a certificate will be issued after this program, and unfortunately not, because we're not testing you guys in any way. So it was only enjoyment. Yes. If there are no other questions, we're going to wrap up this crash course in modern data management. So thank you everyone online for joining. Thank you everyone for coming here to our office in Stockholm today. And a big thank you also to Perttu and Minna.